Have you ever heard of a city built entirely on laughs? I'm not talking about a theme park, but a real, functioning city, designed by some of the most famous comedians in the world. Back in the early 2000s, the Blue Collar Comedy Tour was a cultural juggernaut. Jeff Foxworthy, Bill Engvall, Ron White, and Larry the Cable Guy were selling out arenas, topping charts, and becoming household names. They tapped into a massive, underserved audience with their relatable, down-to-earth humor. And at the absolute peak of their powers, they had an idea. So wild, so ambitious. It sounds like the punchline to one of their own jokes. They wanted to build a city for 500,000 people, molded in their own blue-collar image. This wasn't just some half-baked idea scribbled on a napkin backstage. This was a serious, multi-billion-dollar proposal. The plan was called Blue Collar Country, and it was set to be built on a massive 11,000-acre plot of land near San Antonio, Texas. Imagine a place where the street signs might have jokes on them, where the town square is designed for barbecues and tailgates, and where the local motto is probably "Get." The vision was a self-contained metropolis. It would have its own schools, its own government, its own entertainment venues, and thousands of homes, all designed with the values and lifestyle celebrated in their comedy. So, who is behind this grand vision? The comedians themselves, of course, were the faces of the project, but the engine driving it was a man named J.P. Williams. Williams was the manager and producer who masterminded the entire blue-collar phenomena. He saw the tour not just as a comedy act, but as a brand, a lifestyle brand. He realized their audience wasn't just buying tickets to a show, they were buying into an identity of hard work, common sense, and not taking yourself too seriously. Building a city was the ultimate extension of that brand. It was a way to create a physical space where that identity could flourish. The plans were incredibly detailed. They envisioned a city with a distinct small-town feel despite its large population. Think walkable neighborhoods, big front porches, and plenty of green space. They planned for fishing lakes, hunting preserves, and TV trails to be built right into the community. Entertainment was, naturally, a huge component. They weren't just planning a comedy club. They were talking about a massive amphitheater to host the biggest names in country music and comedy, a permanent fairground for rodeos and festivals, and even a film and television production studio. The idea was to make blue-collar country a destination, a sort of Graceland for the common man. The economic model was just as ambitious. The city was projected to create tens of thousands of jobs, not just in construction, but in every sector imaginable. They were in talks with major retailers, restaurant chains, and even car manufacturers to set up shop. The housing would range from affordable starter homes to more luxurious estates, all designed to fit the country aesthetic. The project had a staggering price tag, estimated to be somewhere between $5 and $10 billion. But with the blue-collar brand at its peak, attracting investors didn't seem like an impossible hurdle. They had the momentum, they had the audience, and they had a truly unique vision. So, picture this. It's 2007. The plans are being drawn up. The land is being surveyed. The media is buzzing with stories about this comedy Camelot rising from the Texas plains. Jeff Foxworthy is talking on late-night shows about how the city will have a no-whining zone. Larry the Cable Guy is joking about being the mayor. It felt like it was actually happening. It was the ultimate. You might be a redneck punchline coming to life. But if this was such a brilliant, well-funded idea, why aren't we all planning our summer vacation to blue-collar country today? Where did it all go wrong? The answer, like most things in life, is a mix of bad timing and complex realities. The first major blow came in late 2007 and 2008. The global financial crisis hit, and it hit hard. The housing market collapsed. Banks stopped lending money. The kind of massive speculative investment needed to fund a $10 billion city from scratch simply evaporated overnight. The entire economic landscape had changed, and the appetite for risky large-scale real estate ventures was gone. Investors who were once eager to get involved suddenly got cold feet, and the flow of capital dried up. Beyond the financial crisis, there were other cracks starting to appear. Building a city is an unbelievably complex undertaking. You're dealing with zoning laws, environmental impact studies, water rights, infrastructure development. It's a bureaucratic marathon! While the vision was inspiring, the practical execution was proving to be a logistical nightmare. The sheer scale of coordinating utilities, roads, and public services for a city of 500,000 people from the ground up is a task that would challenge even the most experienced city planners, let alone a group of comedians and their manager. And then there was the brand itself. The Blue Collar Comedy Tour was a moment in time. While their popularity was immense, cultural trends are always shifting. By the late 2000s, the individual comedians were starting to pursue their own solo projects more and more. Ron White had already officially left the tour. The cohesive energy that made the group so powerful was beginning to dissipate. Building a city requires a long-term, unified commitment, and the group dynamic was naturally evolving. Was the brand strong enough to sustain a multi-decade construction project and an entire city's identity? That became a very real question. In the end, Blue Collar Country quietly faded away. There was no grand announcement of its cancellation. The project just sort of fizzled out as the economic and practical realities set in. The 11,000 acres in Texas were never developed into the comedian's utopia. Today, it remains a fascinating what-if story. A testament to a moment when 4 comedians were so popular, so connected to their audience, that they almost pulled off one of the most audacious real estate projects in American history. It was a dream of a city built on laughter, common sense, and the right to bear arms. And for a brief, shining moment, it almost seemed possible. It really makes you wonder what it would have been like. Would it have been a thriving community? A testament to a specific slice of American culture? Or would it have become a caricature, a theme park that no one actually wanted to live in? We'll never know for sure, but the story of Blue Collar Country serves as a wild footnote in comedy history. It's a reminder that sometimes the biggest dreams are the ones that make for the best stories, even if they never get built. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into forgotten history. See you in the next one.